This week on Hermitcraft. It's cloudy with a chance of Bdubs. Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP, and we had to change the pre-intro joke of the previous week mid-edit just because the splash from Bdubs hitting the ground was just that big.
Why does this keep happening?
We'd like to imagine he's been trying to log in and falling to his doom non-stop for 59 weeks now, just too far away for people to notice. If a Bdubs falls in a forest biome and nobody's around to hear him...
Well, now I am, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Quite lucky Corrales built a pool for himself in that spot. Imagine if he had a cactus garden instead. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week.
Hi, I've missed you, buddy.
Starting with Iskal85, who's in the mood to fix some redstone stuff, and he's heard most of it is broken. Except, he turns up to Sahara, and it seems like user error may be to blame.
And I mean, there shouldn't be any reason why that wouldn't work, I would think. Doc, how on earth did you manage to not get multiple stacks? This is working brilliantly.
He can't even find the issue Doc reported last week. In fact, Sahara seems to be even better, thanks to Mumbo having built a vault door at long last and added the framework for a restocking system.
They are item filters, they are super advanced item filters, and I love the filter item.
The run minigame gets the same treatment. Investigating the exploits Azuma found, Iskal's solution is to add some gentleman's rules to the rulebook, basically explaining how to cheat the system, and then politely asking players not to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you want us to read.
All right, no,
all of the book.
But Sahara now is the new product he wants to pitch, and for once the architect trio all shows up to a meeting. Some of them wearing more questionable footwear than others.
That's sandals. Is that sandals or is that Rendog's beard on your feet? Consider showering and so.
Satisfied with the product, give or take a few instructional signs, they decide to have another friendly competition and see who can pitch the most Sahara Now memberships to the other hermits for the high price of 100 diamonds apiece. Iskal's first marks are the richest man on the server, Good Times with Scar, who can be tempted by Iskal in cosplay as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, and even forks over a second membership for his cat once Iskal promises to wear his ruby slippers to the next board meeting.
I mean, you have a deal.
Oh,
two
look
memberships.
at
You don't even
this.
need 2 memberships, but you haven't even heard the price of the membership yet.
Oh, this is cool. Who are you talking to, man?
The second, well, third membership is sold to Stress Monster, who also cuts a deal for her new squid farm to supply Sahara with ink, though that does cheat them out of all the profits they'd make from Scar buying wither roses for dyes.
Oh wait, hang on!
Yeah?
I forgot to, okay, I'm being very honest right now, but I forgot to pay you.
Oh. I was all caught up in the idea of us selling ink finally at Sahara.
It's worth noting that at this point, Sahara has made more diamonds selling renamed sunflowers to people than their actual products. Stress figures it's worth checking out the goods, especially since her Trident shop has started making some good sales.
No way! Thank you to the hermits who bought the tridents, you're making me rich!
One of the shulker boxes on offer at Sahara Now is tempting enough for her to buy, but the happiest news that day is that a certain someone has decided to feed his pet poultry.
You wasn't telling me porcupines! She's actually been fed? No way!
Aside from finally being a responsible chicken dad, Mumbo decides he wants to build a sugarcane farm somewhere in all that lava at his witch farm pit. So he does, although this being Mumbo, the farm is hundreds of blocks long, powered by a slime flying machine, and probably doesn't do the server lag any favours. Still, it gives him close enough to a double chest every harvest, so he'll have enough sugar to open a chocolate factory before long.
And there is absolutely no sugarcane left up here, which means that we haven't lost any, which obviously is the most important thing. I think we can all agree that is pretty good going.
Grian's approach to marketing is miles above either of them, not by the metric of efficiency, but because it's a giant blimp floating over the gaming district. But even then, the advertising space on the side of it is not being used to convey any message other than come and look at what a curious blimp this is.
And I've even put a giant red arrow. If that doesn't get people's attention...
The cabin presents an assortment of cool offers that Sahara Now does not have, but might have sometime in the future. Just pay some money now, sit back and relax, and maybe they'll add something for you to have fun with later. This is known in marketing circles as the No Man's Sky strategy. The downside to this pro strat is that in the 10 hours it took him to freehand a giant white goldfish in the sky, Iskall has sold 3 passes to 2 people. And even in the business of mystery, he might be outplayed as Zombie Cleo arrives to Hermitland with her own minigame, the Escape Box. Said box is actually a fully furnished room of an old Victorian mansion that the collective uncles of Hermitcraft has set up for inheritance.
I, Grandpa Joe, because of course, being of sound mind and sound-ish body, bequeath my fortune to the people who can solve my puzzles and get through the door on the opposite side of the room. Signature, undecipherable script.
It's packed to the brim with logical puzzles that we won't be spoiling here. All we can say is it's really, really cool, and we just hope that the first group of brainiacs who try to crack this won't get too frustrated and turn this escape box into a murder mystery.
I mean, in other news, Cleo can't spell. It does say escape now, though, which is, you know, something.
On the topic of things we shouldn't spoil, Azuma also tackles a similar minigame, though the only way you're getting out of his assortment of rooms is over your own cold dead body. Your goal as a player of this corridor is to get rid of a Totem of Undying issued by the room as fast as possible. Every stage provides its own way of settling your scores with life, and the Hermits will be racing against the clock to do so. To enter, just look for the building with the word Undying on it, and maybe crank Battle Against the True Hero on your Walkman. That might just drown out the screams of your viewers about your interface looking all weird, which is because X spent quite a bit of time tinkering with his personal assembly of the Vanilla Tweaks resource pack, as well as adding a mod to see through shulker boxes more easily. This prompted him to also clean up his base and all the inventories in it, which is quite handy because that gave Corrales something to mess up for that bushwhacking he was hot potatoed into.
How do we bushify? We need to bushify this place just a little bit, just to make it a little bit per... Oh.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! It's happened again, peeps. It's Corrales! I probably deserve a whole bunch of bushes in my inventory right now. Oh, this is gonna take me a while to get out of here as well.
Jevin, meanwhile, willingly submerges himself into foliage. You see, in his many years hermit crafting, he never really had a proper treehouse, and that part of his childhood just had to be compensated for.
That is gonna be the one problem that we're most likely gonna run into today. I want to do this so that we have a balcony to walk around, number 1. And number 2, we have pathways to go to another tree, so...
There's just a bit of an obstacle. He's still locked into the one chunk challenge he started a while ago, and he has broken the rules of that challenge plenty of times while trying to still maintain a presence on the server. He tries to buy out his innocence with a whole bunch of diamond blocks thrown into lava because, as we all know, lava is the authority on these matters.
I can't believe I just threw 32 diamond blocks away like that.
This allows him to add another chunk to the rules, and he starts construction on his Ewok-style cottage. Considering how wealthy he is on the server, we wouldn't be surprised if he eventually buys the rest of Hermitland like that. TFC isn't satisfied with being diamond rich from branch mining, he's also kelp rich now. Having amassed around 3,000 stacks of kelp, he's planning to convert it all into dried kelp and from there to kelp blocks, at which point he'll probably have enough fuel to last a lifetime. This will be accomplished thanks to his array of smoker workstations, and you thought he was trying to give up smoking.
And with the smokers being more efficient than regular furnaces, this stuff ought to do pretty good.
He can fume a little less now that he knows lecterns need to have a book and quill or a written book placed on them, and viewer suggestions have helped him add a couple of light aesthetic touches to the Overseer's master bedroom. Python gets a visit from Cubfan, who shines a light on a small problem at the lighting shop. Some of the stuff he sells is in direct competition with Concorp, but since Cub can provide the shop with sea lanterns, they cut a deal for co-ownership and split the restocking duties along with the profits.
How about this? Right, we got sea lanterns we can supply you with.
Okay.
Right? And how about we go 50-50 on this shop?
One resource gathering session later, Python gets down to some serious time lapses, building not 1 but 2 skyscrapers at his Tower Bay area.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The yellow tower and the light blue towers are now up. We have 6 out of 8 towers now up and running.
After a long day of construction, he decides to spend his free time playing games at Hermitland, escaping from the floor is lava only with mild burns and a pretty solid personal best. He can cool his toes at the Lake Town project, which gets finishing touches in the form of a storage warehouse and a marketplace for some as yet unclaimed villagers.
All that's left to do for this particular build anyway is to actually start organising what goes into each one.
As for the claimed ones, Cubfan is continuing his crusade against their unemployment. Concorp land, now looking more lively than ever, expands the range of workbench guilds to farmers, butchers and fletchers. They get veggie stalls to trade out of, a slaughterhouse, and a shooting range that even rewards the top marksmen with a fireworks show. When it bothers to render, that is.
So guys, I've relogged and the issue still persists. This, and yeah, as you can see, still disappears. And it reaches the right height. You'll see then it explodes with the particles. So, I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
Having then collected all profits from the Concorp allied shops in the commercial district, Cub discovers waterlogged seagrass and its bizarre properties. And if you wonder just how weird he can make this, rest assured that the rest of the episode plays out as the Cursed Minecraft image compilation. You thought N-flower pineapples were weird? Check out demon melons and hydroponic coral farms. At this rate, his way of infiltrating Area 77 will just be him getting brought in and locked up.
Alright, and now, the only thing left to do is go ahead and add some glass panes, because this is supposed to be like spewing out bone meal.
Despite this, and dreams of Ren Bob the hippie being abducted by her diner, False Symmetry remains a non-believer, just in it to score some cash from the more impressionable crowd.
Man, I've been in hyperspace for a couple weeks now.
Ugh, what just happened? Like, I just had to sit down. I didn't feel too well. That was just... Yeah, I can't be well, guys.
And the town of Falsewell does bring in some diamonds when Scar comes in to snatch some real estate.
Where's his permit? Ah. Do you have the second page?
To ward off any future trespassers, False shakes up some wool out of a zoomer and builds a gigantic stop sign pixel art to distribute on maps all around the town for students to steal and put in their dorms.
I'm a little bit worried after this because it has taken me quite a few hours, which, by the way, if you're enjoying this, please leave a like. This has taken me multiple things.
An even bigger, although less efficient signage is posted over a water tower at the town's entrance, but this being Minecraft, the banners that the letters are made of refuse to render in after a certain distance. The last-ditch chance to educate the masses about the area is her building a museum of weirdness, but that building remains empty until she can figure out how to use it to sell stuff. Scar's method of stopping the trespassers is a bit more blunt. Sick of Keralis using the restricted zone as a shortcut, he installs 2 security outposts on the road to it, one with the polite guards and another with the armed ones. As if to spite him, Keralis builds his main residence just outside the security fences on a hill overlooking the airport. Yes, it might be loud living there, but I bet the hippies will pay a shiny dollar for any info observed from his infinity pool. But Scar can still get the drop on him any time because high over the roof of Keralis' condo, there's now a couple of military-grade spy planes casting a threatening shadow over the sunbathing area.
Finally, I see it! Oh man. Oh, I love it.
Not that it matters much, the house isn't really Keralis' main base anyway, it's just a net he can use to catch a falling BOO.
Oh my goodness.
Bubbles?
Oh my goodness. Yeah? Hi.
Once the two have gotten acquainted and Bdubs has given back all the diamonds he automatically stole, the two of them decide to give a village a makeover, but not before Bdubs has done some legitimate resource gathering.
Potentially, if I got so many resources from this, now we're going to have to make something for some storage, potentially.
The man's been on the server for all of 5 minutes and he's already made an aesthetically pleasing cave. That's just the beginning though. After Keralis builds a barn to kick off their village transformation, Bdubs responds with a quaint country cottage complete with a rustic kitchen, a cozy bedroom, and a toilet he immediately gets himself stuck in.
Actually in it. Uh-oh. Hey, hi guys. Hey, first episode on the series. I'm actually literally trapped. Okay.
Which is somehow the overarching theme of this week, as ImpulseSV responds to a hippie recruitment ad he finds outside of iTrade and applies to be the hippie's resident redstoner. Flushed down the RV toilet into the mushroom cave, he gets grilled in cryptic fashion by Grian and Rendog before learning the hard way that you don't get flushed twice.
Okay. I've actually prepared 3 toilets here for you, and I must admit, if you get this one wrong, Impulse, you do not get the job.
I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go with this toilet right here, so I'm gonna go for it. Why not? Oh! Wait! No!
After this purple hazing, he backs his own RV into the Campervan Collective and somehow grows a waistcoat and some flowers in his hair. Some spores from the Shroom Room have made their way to the surface, and Rendog uses them as the inspiration to build a big chungus fungus and set up a villager encampment around it. Hopefully the enormous cap of the central mushroom will hide their activities from the Area 77 spy planes. Worst comes to worst, they can shoot down anything by launching the mother van Grian built at them.
Look at this thing. A giant RV poking out of a missile silo. I mean, if that is not going to distract the eyeballs of Area 77, I don't know what will.
And the hippies are up to something. I will tell you that right now. I don't know what the garbage can with the vehicle in it represents, but it's not good.
The Sahara Speedy Pines Raceway is also on his radar, where progress has been made on the pavilion and the lap timing facilities. Before the track opens for a full Grand Prix, Ren lays down the gauntlet to see which Hermit can get the fastest lap time, measured by a timer spitting gold nuggets into a dropper. 2.5 stacks is the time to beat. And finally, there's Doc M, who isn't sure what to make of the monolithic camper van, but he's got more urgent issues, with Corrales casually wandering onto the runway at Area 77 every few minutes. He could at least be polite enough to use the official entrance, especially once Doc adds to Scar's design with redstone-operated vehicle barriers and a concrete powder security door.
Now, okay, if vehicle is passed through and is valid, boom, we close it again. Quick job, done dealio.
Despite all these security measures, Doc lets his guard down and returns from an AFK session to find himself hot potatoed by Corrales, which leads to 5 of the most German minutes the Hermitcraft server has ever seen.
For your next Hermitcraft episode, you need to start the video by only speaking German for 3 to 5 minutes.
Cue the polka music. Let's roll.
Which gives us the opportunity to write whatever we want in the subtitles, and most of our audience probably won't even get the difference.
Wieder, da sind wir wieder, Freunde. Da sind wir wieder, Freunde, mit einer weiteren Folge hier.
Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is PixelRiffs. If you feel like watching me get all the achievements in Minecraft Bedrock Edition in less than a week, I did it, and links to those videos will be in the end screen theatre. Don't forget to leave a like on this video while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.